Humanity had long dreamed of exploring the stars, and now it was no longer just a dream, but a reality shaped by the Galactic Council. An alliance of many worlds working together for peace and progress. Earth's war fleet was the pride of this great union, a powerful force built on cutting-edge technology, skilled pilots, and unbreakable spirit. For decades, the fleet had defended Earth and its allies from threats both known and unseen, earning a reputation for courage and precision. Yet beneath the surface of this unity, something dark was stirring. One day, without warning, the Council issued new orders that shocked everyone. Earth's war fleet must halt all offensive operations and reduce its readiness. The reason given was vague and alarming. The fleet's growing independence was dangerous to the balance of power. Admiral Kane, a man respected by his crew and feared by enemies, felt the weight of these words like a cold shadow over the fleet's future. He had always believed in the Council's wisdom, but now doubts gnawed at him. Why would those who had praised Earth's strength suddenly want to tie its hands? His instincts told him that something hidden was at work, something that threatened not just the fleet, but the very safety of Earth itself. When Kane brought these concerns to the Council, he found only silence and veiled warnings. His officers noticed the change too. Whispers of betrayal drifted through the corridors of the flagship, and the crew's usual confidence began to waver. Despite the orders to stand down, Kane's mind raced, piecing together fragments of strange communications intercepted during recent patrols. He realized the Council was no longer the guardian he had trusted, but a force that might be working against humanity's best interests. Yet public leaders on Earth urged calm and patience, telling citizens to trust the Council's decisions. The people wanted peace, not war, and many still believed in the alliance that had brought stability to the galaxy. This contrast between hope and suspicion created a tension that spread like wildfire. As Earth's skies darkened with warships, reduced to quiet watchfulness, the Admiral prepared his crew for whatever lay ahead, knowing that the next move could change the fate of humanity forever. The silence was heavy, but it was the calm before a storm that no one could yet see. Beneath the polished speeches and official statements of the Galactic Council, a darker truth began to surface. One that Admiral Kane's second-in-command uncovered in the quiet corners of encrypted communications. These secret messages revealed an alarming alliance. The Council was negotiating with a hostile alien empire known for its ruthless conquests and disregard for life. The goal was clear: to weaken Earth's growing power and influence within the galaxy. This discovery shook Kane to his core. The very group that was supposed to protect humanity was conspiring with its enemies. Back on Earth, the civilian population, unaware of these secret dealings at first, grew restless as strange news leaked through underground channels. Whispers of corruption and betrayal spread quickly, feeding the growing mistrust among people who had always believed in the Council's leadership. The streets buzzed with tension, and even the calmest citizens found themselves questioning everything they had been told. Meanwhile, Kane struggled with the weight of his duty. Loyalty to the Council had been unwavering, forged through years of service and sacrifice, but now he faced a harsh reality where those in power were not acting in humanity's best interest. His role as protector of the fleet and Earth pushed him to question who he could trust. When a Council envoy arrived under the guise of offering support, Kane's suspicions deepened. The envoy's true mission was to sabotage the fleet's defenses, to weaken Earth's ability to respond if conflict erupted. The envoy's attempts were subtle but dangerous, planting seeds of chaos within the fleet's operations. Kane saw the signs and acted swiftly, refusing to allow the fleet to fall into enemy hands or be rendered powerless by those who once promised peace. He convened a secret council with his closest officers and made a bold choice: Earth's war. Fleet would prepare for an independent strike, no longer bound by the Council's false promises. This decision marked a turning point, a line crossed where loyalty to a flawed alliance was replaced by loyalty to humanity itself. Kane's resolve hardened, and his crew, inspired by their leader's courage, prepared for the battles ahead. Each member of the fleet knew the risks, but they understood the stakes: the survival of their home and the freedom of their people. Outside the fleet's hidden chambers, the galaxy remained unaware of the storm quietly gathering, a storm that would challenge the very foundation of the Council's power and reveal the true strength of human will. Suspense grew thick in the air as every move made by Kane and his officers carried the weight of unknown consequences. And the question lingered: who else in the Council could be trusted? And what sacrifices would be needed to protect Earth from the betrayal that now threatened to consume it? Admiral Kane made a choice that would change everything. He ignored the Council's strict orders and took Earth's war fleet off the official grid, erasing their presence from all known records. As if vanishing into the shadows, the fleet disappeared from the eyes of the galaxy, moving in secret to prepare for a mission that no one could predict. Kane, with his trusted officers by his side, gathered his strongest pilots and engineers, determined to strike at the very heart of the threat: hidden alien bases that the Council had been secretly supporting for years. These bases, scattered across distant star systems, served as the foundation of the alien empire's growing power, and their destruction was vital to Earth's survival. The fleet's approach was daring and bold, relying on human creativity and grit to outsmart enemies, equipped with technology far beyond what many thought possible. Every battle they fought tested their skill and courage. They used unpredictable maneuvers and tactics born from their intimate knowledge of Earth's technology and human determination, turning apparent disadvantages into victories. News of these strikes, though unofficial and secret, began to spread like wildfire through underground channels back home and among allied star systems. People heard of the courage and success of the Earth fleet and felt hope for the first time in months. The fleet's actions sparked a wave of support, rallying sympathizers who had long felt powerless against the Council's grip. Yet this hope came with a heavy cost. The Council, unwilling to tolerate what they called a rebellion, quickly branded Kane and his fleet as traitors to the Alliance. In response, the Council dispatched their own forces ships equipped with advanced weaponry in countless numbers to hunt down the renegade fleet and crush the rebellion before it could grow stronger. As the battle lines were drawn, the galaxy watched, though most did not yet understand the truth. For Kane and his crew, every mission became a fight not only against the alien threat, but also against the forces that had betrayed them from within. The tension was unbearable at times, the uncertainty of who would survive the next encounter weighing heavily on every officer and pilot. Still, they pressed forward, driven by the belief that Earth's freedom and future depended on their success. This breakaway strike was more than a military operation. It was a stand for honor, truth, and the right to choose their own destiny, even if it meant standing against their former allies. As the fleet navigated the dangerous expanse of space, preparing for the battles that would determine the fate of humanity, the lines between enemy and friend blurred, and the war they had begun was only just unfolding. The quiet tension that had held the galaxy in uneasy balance shattered as full-scale war erupted between the Council's forces and Earth's renegade war fleet. Led by Admiral Kane, the once hidden conflict spilled into the open, with fleets clashing in the vastness of space, each side determined to claim victory. Kane's fleet moved with fierce precision, launching devastating strikes against key Council installations and alien strongholds that had been used to control vast territories. These attacks were more than just battles. They were a message that humanity refused to be controlled or betrayed. The Council's forces, though powerful and well-equipped, found themselves facing an enemy unlike any they had expected. Crews adapted quickly, using unconventional strategies that exploited every weakness and turning technology and terrain to their advantage. The loyalty among Kane's officers and crews became their greatest weapon, forging a bond that pushed them through the most desperate fights. Meanwhile, back on Earth, civilians who had long been silenced by fear and uncertainty began to rise. Through secret communications and acts of sabotage, they supported the fleet's efforts, striking at the Council's operations from within. This new resistance grew rapidly, fueled by hope and the belief that freedom was still within reach. However, the war was not without its dangers from inside their own ranks. Hidden Council agents disguised as allies and friends moved stealthily through Earth's systems, working to weaken the resistance from the shadows. Their presence created fear and suspicion, threatening to unravel the trust that Kane's fleet depended on. In this chaotic and dangerous environment, the line between friend and foe blurred, making every decision a matter of life and death. As the battles raged across star systems and secret bases, the fate of humanity hung in the balance. Yet despite the overwhelming odds and the constant threat of betrayal, Kane and his fleet refused to surrender. Their fight was no longer just about survival, it was about reclaiming honor, justice, and the right to determine their own future. The war had unleashed forces that would forever change the galaxy, and as the fires of battle burned bright, a new chapter in human history was being written in the stars. After years of struggle, battles, and sacrifice, the truth about the Galactic Council's corruption was finally revealed to the galaxy. The secret alliances with hostile alien forces that had threatened Earth and many other systems crumbled under the weight of evidence brought forward by Admiral Kane and his brave fleet. The alien allies of the Council were pushed back, their bases destroyed, their plans foiled by the relentless spirit and courage of humanity's defenders. Kane's fleet, though battered and worn from constant fighting, stood victorious. This victory was not just a military success, it was a reclaiming of Earth's right to determine its own future. The people of Earth, inspired by the sacrifices of their soldiers and the leadership of Kane, rose to rebuild and renew their commitment to freedom and justice. They formed a new alliance, one built on trust, equality, and the promise of independence for all willing systems. The old Galactic Council, once seen as a symbol of peace and order, dissolved into disgrace and shame, unable to hide from the truth of their betrayal. In its place rose a federation that embraced the strength of its members, led by humanity's resilience and unwavering courage. For Kane, the end of the war brought both relief and deep reflection. He thought of the countless lives lost, the friends and comrades who had given everything for a better future. Yet he also saw a future filled with hope, a future where Earth was no longer just a planet fighting for survival, but a beacon of strength and honor shining across the stars. The war had tested humanity in unimaginable ways, but it also revealed their true potential. With hearts united and eyes fixed on the horizon, Earth's people prepared to lead, not through domination, but by example, showing other worlds that courage, loyalty, and the desire for freedom could overcome even the darkest threats. The dawn of this new era was not without its challenges, but with the lessons of the past guiding them. Humanity stood ready to face whatever came next, proud to be the light that would inspire generations to come.